Hello and warm welcomes to everybody joining us here today online and in person. Whether it's good morning, afternoon, evening in your part of the world, we are delighted to have you here with us today. Welcome to Land in Focus, Unlocking Global Restoration with GeoGLI, the official launch of the geospatial platform for land restoration. My name is Devashini Rola. I'm a research and outreach specialist at the G20 Global Land Initiative, and it's an honor to serve as your moderator for today's session. This particular session is a hybrid session hosted by the G20 Global Land Initiative of the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, UNCCD. The G20 GLI was launched during the Saudi presidency of the G20 2020 presidency. The initiative sets out an ambitious goal to reduce global land degradation by 50% by 2040. Now, as we all know, land degradation remains a pressing global challenge, threatening ecosystem biodiversity and livelihoods of millions. Addressing it requires more than commitment. It demands accessible knowledge and tools that helps us to understand threats, trends, and biophysical dimensions of degradation. That is where GeoGLI comes in. This is a powerful geospatial mapping and analytical platform that integrates real-time data with detailed country-specific insights. Tailored for policymakers, planners, NGOs, and researchers, GeoGLI empowers users to visualize, analyze, and take informed action in critical land-related issues. In today's webinar, or this particular hybrid session, we will take a closer look at the platform's capacity to explore and potential opportunity for collaboration with you, with our stakeholders. Our valued audience and key stakeholders is what we really value, and we would like to endeavor this journey with you. Now, to open today's ceremony, it is my privilege to invite Mr. Ibrahim Tiao, Executive Secretary of UNCCD. Mr. Tiao has played a pivotal role in championing digital transformation within the convention, and GeoGLI is a testament to this vision. As many of you know, Mr. Tiao will be retiring soon. However, his legacy, particularly in advancing digital tools for land degradation assessment and restoration, will continue to shape our future moving forward. Now, without a further ado, please join me in welcoming Mr. Ibrahim Tiao to deliver the opening remarks for the official launch of the geospatial platform for land restoration. Mr. Tiao, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Devisha. And colleagues, friends, good morning to all. We are here to discuss a very important topic. So this is more than just a tool. We are discussing here an issue that is at the heart of sustainable development and at the heart of human well-being. How do we assess the progress we are making or not in terms of land restoration in the world? Or in other words, how much land degradation is going on in the world today? We know we are putting a lot of pressure on limited resources, and we have a growing population and growing needs in terms of demands of material in the world for food, for animal feed, and for fiber. The tool that we are here today to discuss is a very important contribution to our endeavor to actually assess how much progress we are making. If the G20 has, in its wisdom, set an ambition to restore 50% of degraded land by 2040, we have to have a yardstick to measure progress. We have to have a benchmark. When can we start this? Yes, it was 2020, but what progress are we making? What progress are we making as humanity to actually restore degraded land? Or let me actually reframe the question. how much land are we degrading? Are we making progress or not? So unless you have a very solid tool, data, analysis, and a very solid methodology that can be accessible to all, it will be very difficult to measure progress. So that ambition may be a good ambition, but it may not be implemented, or we may not be able to assess the progress we are making. So in very simple terms, and I'm always intimidated by nice acronyms like GEO, GLI, I don't know what it means. But it is certainly a very important contribution to the assessment that we need to make. Now, if the G20 initiative, Global Land Restoration Initiative, is the one that is contributing to this, it fits very well with the ambition set by ministers of the G20 when they decided that we should have a database, for lack of a better word. We need to have these kind of tools. Now, it doesn't have to say, I'm not saying that it should be done in isolation with everybody else in the world. There are lots of players from around the world, and I'm happy that we are collaborating with UNEP GRID in Geneva. But I hope that we will be able to also expand the partnerships to other institutions, starting with the UNCCD itself. We have a science and technology department, which has that ambition of helping countries report on progress they are making on land restoration, or how much degraded land is there in the world. So it is important that we expand that partnership, starting with the UNCCD. The Global Land Initiative is an initiative that is set for 10 years to help G20 countries assess. But the 10 years will be over soon, maybe in 5 years, maybe in 6 years. What will be the legacy of this unless we anchor it into an institution that has a long-lasting life, and unless we are able to influence policy making in terms of COPs, next COPs, maybe COP20, COP25, by then we should have a tool that is fully integrated in the UNCCD for the UNCCD to carry out the work and continue that assessment. So it is important that we start with the same level of information and we work together. So I hope this is the case. And secondly, we are able to create a partnership whereby other institutions within the United Nations and outside of the United Nations that have some ambition of assessment be involved. And lastly, talking about digitalization, I cannot just close my remarks without referring to the artificial intelligence that is haunting all of us. It's a very important tool. I think we can make a good use of it. And I think we should make a good use of it. I don't even think, I am convinced that unless we make a good use of artificial intelligence, we will not go far. I'm also very happy to see that we are making use of other technologies that are already there. I mean, there are thousands of satellites that are roaming around our heads and collecting data. In fact, I was told by a very important colleague in the United Nations outer space office in Vienna that actually we are not lacking data. We have a lot of analysis. We have a lot of data. What is lacking is the analysis in order to tailor that data into our needs. So I think this is a very good step forward. I will just stop there to say that I'm encouraged to see this happening, and I wish you all the best in terms of pursuing this. And I would dream of having the G20 and the UNCCD and others working together to actually provide the 197 parties to the UNCCD tools that will be helpful to decision makers, ministers. We are not talking about experts only. We are not talking about government officials only, but I would like to see farmers and herders have information to that so that they know where to go. And they could probably leave this planet in a better shape than we have found it ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Tia, for the inspiring start. I would again like to echo what Mr. Tia has mentioned, the importance of assessing land degradation, the importance of partnership within not just UN organizations, but outside, beyond the UN organizations. and the importance of integrating AI and other cross-cutting technology. Now, without any further ado, this is the most awaited moment for us and for all of our stakeholders who have been involved through the process and who have heard about GeoGLI. I would like to show a brief video about the key features of GeoGLI. Can I please have the video?
Welcome to our new geospatial platform, geogli.com. This robust data explorer system tracks countries' commitments to land restoration, offering access to reliable and relevant data to identify areas in urgent need of conservation or restoration. In this video, you will learn how to best use our geospatial platform to find the results that you are looking for. You can navigate the map by clicking the zoom in or zoom out buttons, or by scrolling your mouse. You can also click on the globe. The mountainscape button shows the terrain relief on the globe. Additionally, you can switch to aerial mode, dark theme, or light theme, and you can compose your own map. Clicking on the help button will show you how to interact with different spatial layers in the platform. Explore the available number of layers, show you which categories you're able to filter, show you how you can search with keywords, and finally, how to remove selected categories that are unwanted. You can create a workspace with specific maps by pinning layers, which will then fall under My Workspace. On the homepage, you can find different layers that you are able to click on and off, such as burned areas, real-time active fires, vegetation index, droughts, and more. On the left-hand side, you can select and unselect specific threats that you are interested in learning more about, like burned areas from 2023 to 25. You can select a specific year you would like to look at, and compare this historical data to near real-time fires as well, to see how much has changed. An example is clicking on active fire density, where you can see annual fire density per square kilometer in each year from 2003 to 2025 in the country you are looking at. This way you can follow the trends of annual fire density or fires per month. You can also see what type of environment a fire affected, like savannas, grasslands, evergreens, etc. You can do this for each threat area such as fire, drought, or deforestation. You can also click on real-time vegetation indexes by month of the year, search by drought severity index guides, land status, restoration status, or go even more in depth and search a specific region in a country. You can then click on and off of more maps, like for restoration opportunities to reduce flood risk or landslide risk. Here you can see where forest protection can be undertaken in a specific country or region. Under climate data, you can also track things like precipitation change, yearly temperature anomalies, or averages by decade. Finally, you can search by country profile, where you will find an extensive overview of what's happening in each specific country, with anything from the current state of it, stressors, trends, impacts, and different treaties and commitments that specific country is a part of. You can download a country's profile to your computer, as well as any specific infographics you want. Under current state, you can look at land status and see how much of a country's land is bare, grassland, tree covered, etc. You can also look at this in a real-time map below. Additionally, you can track the land degradation amount for the country, the soil organic carbon map, aridity index, socioeconomics, agriculture production, wealth of the country, resources and specific stressors in real time that country is going through, like real-time fires. You can also track the changes in temperature, precipitation, and in food and health. GeoGLI is more than a platform. It is about ensuring decision makers have access to reliable and relevant data to identify areas in urgent need of conservation or restoration. We hope you enjoy using our new site as much as we do, and please leave a comment below if you have any questions.
Now that we have a small snippet of the platform, I would like to invite Dr. Absalam Al-Biliali, who would walk us through the platform in much of the detail and would also go through the key performances or key features of the platform. Can we have the presentation, please?
Thank you, Dejashree, and thank you, Sir Brian Chow. So my name is Mohammed Absalam Al-Biliali. I'm leading the information management component of the G20 Global Land Initiative. Building on what my colleagues share with you and also what the video highlight, my presentation is divided in two parts. The first one, I will provide some overview of the platforms, the content, the different tools we have there that user can interact with the data we have compiled for the last 40 years. And then the second part, I will guide you through the platforms itself, so we can see the different data we have there, also the type of tools we have built on top of this data set. And I hope by the end of this presentation, you will understand, you have a clear understanding of what we have done in terms of like tracking land restoration, also promoting land restoration at global scales. Before we dive into the platform, let's explore the fourth dimension of this platform that makes GeoGLI is vital platform for land restoration. The first one is purpose. Why these platforms matter for the G20 Global Land Initiative, as the ES mentions. Who can benefit from the platforms? And also, what inside of in this platform, what type of data analytic tools we are putting on top of these platforms? And also, what's the capabilities of these platforms? This is the four component of dimension of this platform that makes this platform specific, so that we can use it to really monitor land degradation, but also promoting land restoration at global scales. Next. The geospatial data platforms is basically a core component of GLI. Basically, we built it to trying to restore 50% of global degraded land by 2040, because we believe in data. Without data, we can not really restore land, because degraded land, across different climates. So this platform is designed to really empower decision making by really providing the latest data to the different stakeholders from government, NGOs, data analysis, policymakers. And also we are empowering this platform with from basic to advanced technical tools that user can interact with platforms. And also we are looking at open data, because this is what we're trying to do to really improve access to this open data that's available. But the most important element of this GLI is the where concept, because for us the location is everything in land restoration. If you want to really restore land, we need to map those degraded land at the pixel level. So this platform is building on 5 decades of Earth observation. The ES mentioned we have thousands of satellites that have been scanning the land or the Earth since 72 until now at different spatial and temporal scales. So this is the where concept is basically the foundation of these platforms, because we need to put this spatial and temporal dimension into our policymakers' brains, because if we don't link the information to location, it will be hard to really achieve what we want to do. So that as a GLI, we're trying to restore 50% of the degraded land. So we need to bring these 2 dimensions now to understand where and when that degradation happened, also where and when the restoration happened. So this is the foundation of this platform, building on 5 decades of archive remote sensing data, and also not only that, but also generating knowledge from this data set. Next. Who can benefit? I think it's clear everyone basically who is involved in land restoration. So government, they will have access to this data. Some data we have for 40 years, at some 250, some even at 10 meters. Also researchers, they can go also to validate their research. Policymakers, they will have comprehensive quantity profile. We'll see that in the platform. We're looking at the quantity in different aspect, also the local community, because that the power of location of that allow us to zoom into even local community to bring the context specific restoration. Next. So what's inside there? We have around more than 200 geospatial data set that's available to look at biophysical indicators, climate and socioeconomic, and also or really goal is not to leave anyone behind, so that we're providing data, but also overcome the issue of internet networking, because some of the stakeholders sitting in the rural area. So we are really using this technology to really ensure that everyone can access these platforms. Also, we go beyond also raw data. We are extracting also knowledge from this, because especially when you put those layers on top of each other, you can really understand. So you have biophysical and put the climate, and also put some of the climate disaster, population density. You can really by looking at tools, if you are not even expert in the geospatial domain, you can understand what's going on. So also we trying to really make it really friendly and user who are not familiar with the geospatial technology, they can really interact with the data, they can zoom in, zoom out, they can also download, they can also share some of these layers with other, with their network if they want. Next. Now, what we have there, I'm not going through, but you can see here what the most comprehensive component of this platform is the country profile. For 197 countries, they can go there and see what happened for the last 30 years in terms of land degradations, climate names. So you can see on the left side of the screen, the type of indicator we have there. All of them, it's at spatial. Most of them can zoom in, zoom out. You have, biophysical indicator, you have socioeconomic, we have even restoration. We have solution for some of the issues that's going to. So it's really interactive. You can also use it. They can go and also click on specific, indicator. They can share it. You can download also data in different formats from PDF and also Excel if you want to do extra analysis. So really, we are trying to really provide the latest data and also the latest tools that the user can interact with this platform. And also, country can also, or user can go and download also the country profile in PDF format if they want. So it's comprehensive. You can see hundreds of indicators compiled, centralized in one place, but also we are also linked to many other platforms. We are linking with NASA server, the European Agency server, the World Bank, because some indicators, socioeconomic indicators, we get from. So every time when they update their database, that gets also reflected on our platform. So our plan is to really reduce the human intervention in these platforms, that everything could be updated automatically. We are sitting there to check the quality, but the plan is to build the platform, which we have done, add some analytic tools so people can interact with the data. And the next phase of this is really track the restoration progress. Because right now we have the commitment. The only data that's available is available in all platforms. There is data on commitment. So end of this year, we have achievement, but we are bringing the where, because right now we have some numbers coming from the countries, but we are going down to see if we can really track those restoration, progress at different, scales from country to regional to global scale. So I will stop there and we'll go to the second part of this presentation, which basically will provide you a guide through the platform. You can see what I mentioned, the data we have, and so this is the landing page of GeoGLI. You can see in the left side of the platform that you have a different category of data we have. So you have from fire to drought. We have drought data for the last 40 years, monthly, also weekly, so that people can really map drought affected areas. And also we have biophysical indicators. We are also looking also some of these, issues, and also have fire. You can really, if you click on one of these pixel areas. So there, it's really interactive. When you click on one of those, areas, the system excludes everything to give you how many, areas has been burned for the last 20, 30 years. Who is living around those areas? What type of vegetation cover? So all that's available there. You can see here for the last 40 years, every month. We have also some real time, and we are mapping the fire every day at a global scale. And so every month we have this comprehensive report, the dashboard you said here. You can click on a specific pixel and anywhere in the world, and you can see how many people living around this area, what the type of land cover types there for at a month, basically for the last 20 years, every month. And also, so we have this around more than 200 global layers available in one place. So you can see here, I will not go through all of them, but I will go to the country profile as mentioned. What is basically is, so you have it, we clustered them based on the unccd annex. You have, Africa, Asia, Europe, and other America. So we have it, and you can South Africa. So you go there and search for South Africa, and you South Africa just so yeah. You click and then no. Okay. So you can see here, you can download this PDF, but also you have the summary, the first page on the left, a summary of the different indicators we have, from biophysical indicators, climate, socioeconomic, and other. You can see. You can also download and download the country profile. Go there. Can go to. And also you see this land, so you can show different. So you can see also the land cover for the last, at degradation. Also you can see by country. So it's really comprehensive. You can also go and download also some of this, if you want. Just go on those three that here. Can go and download also or share that specific layers for, If you go to trend also, you have climate ready. You can see it. Can go here. So for also can download also the data in different formats from JPEG to Excel and others. We have also, so it's really a comprehensive country profile that our stakeholder can use to look at what happened across different sectors. And also we have a solution also, for some of the issues at the country level, land management, socioeconomic, whatever, all that is available in one single platform. So I will stop there, but this is the beginning of a long journey we have to take together. We are trying to not only gathering this data, but also building some analytic tools so that people can interact with this. We also hopefully in the coming years we have it in different languages. So I will stop there and thank you very much.
Can I just make a few comments, because I'm afraid I have to leave, but this is very impressive, and compilation of data that is there could be extremely useful to many actors. Just as you were showing, for example, the fires. I actually have in my mind, a title of a report that can be produced to show how much the world and the earth is under fire. As we speak today, the Mediterranean is burning, and people are being displaced. Tourists are being sent back home. The impact on the economy is terrible, not only in terms of land ecosystems and land that is being burned, but the side effects is also very important, because these countries, this is summertime, where they have the maximum tourists, and tourists are being sent back home.
And all this coming.
It is just inspiring to see how much data is there. Now, what will be important is the next phase that you are talking about is to be able to assess the, sort of have an annual picture, or maybe every 2 years or whatever, 3 years, of the progress that is being made in terms of land restoration. Because that is how you can assess whether or not you're achieving the 50% by 2040, because you have to give them a yardstick to measure. So this is very important to have the static data, especially data from the last 40 years, but then how to make it more dynamic and help them assess progress Now, country profiles are very important, and certainly having regional approach is a very important thing, because global data is always nice, but as long as you are not coming closer to home, no decision maker will be that much interested, because they need to know what is happening in Southern Africa, for example. not necessarily be able to address country by country because there are too many of them, but having sub-regional approach will help them have a picture of what is happening in the region. So going maybe sub-regional reports or sub-regional outlooks could be interesting. This is where I again believe that it is important to work not only with STI in terms of data and global assessments, but also with the global land outlook and the UNEP global environmental outlook, maybe FAO's whatever, or maybe the World Resources Institute's forest review that they have. So I think partnership is just encouraging and useful in the sense that we will be unable to extract ourselves all the data and produce thousands of reports. But if we are working with others, they will find it very useful to actually have access to that data, which may not be accessible. Now, you mentioned, final point, you mentioned US and Europe, which are important players and have databases. But I would urge you to look at what is happening in China with the CBAS, whatever the acronym. I hate acronyms, but there's a center for big data that they have dedicated to SDGs, and they have a whole team working on land. And they equally have access to data from around the world. So maybe connecting from the United States to Europe, to China, to Malaysia, whatever, could also be useful in terms of reaching out to our constituencies at a much larger scale. Thank you very much, and really encouraging. And I'm actually, as you said, leaving in the next few days, but leaving with hope that this work will continue. It's just the beginning of a journey, but it is a very solid way of beginning a journey. And I hope that we have enough food to actually work together for a long journey and be effective as we arrive. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. So I think this is also a very good segue to start with question and answers, where we will take some of your questions from the floor. I see that already there are a lot.
No.
I see that there are already a lot of questions in Q&A session, but is there any questions from the floor, from the audience that is present in person?
It's not kind of question, but I have something to support what Ibrahim said. Right, I'm from Turkey. My name is Feyzi Aslan. I'm working for General Directorate of Forestry in Turkey, and we are fighting wildfire in Turkey. I mean, my organization taking care of wildfire. And I know right now, actually, currently, we are suffering a lot. We lost 10 people. 10 people because of the fire. We lost them. They died. And 5 of them actually are workers, and others also from other institutions as well. So as we know, the biggest issue, human effect actually, 98% of reason actually because of the human. So this amazing presentation, this amazing platform actually, how we integrate this, how can I, because it's really big, how can I say, problem to get this issue. How I would like to say about like this, I'm going to tell you how we integrate this information to this platform to see what we have and what is gonna, how can I say, we have in the future. Like actually, just my suggestion, we need to get correct information from this country to implement this platform to see the real issue in the future. And because we have lots of information about this thing, but I'm not sure it's open for all countries, and we need to find some solution to get this information as well. Otherwise, even you are doing lots of things to take care of like ecosystem or another thing, if you won't able to stop this problem, we cannot figure out, we cannot solve the issue. This is my just thought.
Thank you.
What I.
Thank you.
We have about 58 questions. Oh,
No,
we have already about 58 questions, so it's a bit difficult to select, but we can already start with something that is quite interesting to know, which is one of the questions says, I would like to know how the data is retrieved in real time. I think this is related to the near real time fire data that we had and what international agencies provide the data. I mean, we have a huge repository of data, but I would ask the question to Dr. Salam as to what data, who is providing the data, how are we getting live updates in this data or let's say recent data, and what is the process behind that?
So I will take the example of fire. So there is a satellite called MODIS, managed by the Americans. So the satellite was launched in 2022, and we have data every day. We have two sensors, Aqua and Tara. They scan the Earth. So one of them, the other sensor, thermal, band that capture, fire. So they scan the Earth every day, and they were able to really map real fire. So there is a team that, at Maryland University, looking at the data every day and generates this type of products that we are using. So we are not forcing any data. We are compiling all of them. But all the data behind each single layer we have, there is solid, institute and organization that's providing data to us. What we are doing on top of data, we are generating some knowledge, like the country profile. We put those layers together and trying to really make stories from those layers. But everything we have here is a global data set validated by some expert, like the NASA server, which we have access to. All this, the last 30 years of data. Those data has been archived there, processed by experts. So we are just using what is available, but we are also generating some knowledge from our stakeholders.
Right. And a lot of similar questions about how can we access the platform? Is it open access? Yes, it is open access, but also some specific questions about how can we download the data set by tip, or maybe can we download polygons? So Dr. Absalam, let's just click on that.
Yeah, so if you go to the landing page, we have a tutorial, step-by-step video that will really help users to navigate and how they can interact with the different data set we have there. And the data it can be downloaded easily, either in shapefile or JPEG or also Excel format. Again, the tutorial we have on the landing page is a comprehensive, informative, so you can go there and learn how to do it.
And just to add that all of these layers, as all the platforms is mandated, we have metadata there. We have links to where we got the layers from, so you can have that access as well. Now, again, this is a very common question that I see here, which is how can governments use this particular platform in their own reporting? Maybe I would direct that to Dr. Murali here as to how can countries use such data platform for their reporting.
Thank you. I think in terms of officially reporting, there are mandated platforms which they have to use. So this is not something which they can use to report the data, but they can compile the data which they need for reporting using this platform. That's as much as we can say.
That's cool.
Thank you so much. There are so many questions, but we are also a bit about towards the closing session. So maybe I would already close the session. I would answer all of the questions online, so you would find our answers, or let's say our take on your questions. We see that we have a lot of feedbacks as to those who would want to collaborate. So we would be happy to collaborate with you. Please drop us an email you can find our emails in the G20 Global Land Initiative website, but also in the GeoGLI website. Before ending the session, I would like to invite Dr. Murali Tumarakudi for his closing remarks for the session.
Thank you, Devasri. I'm very happy today that after about 2 years of development, the platform is finally going online. And as you can see, the interest is already quite high. We had more than 1,000 people registered. I saw up to 286 people. That's the highest number I saw real-time online, which is quite significant for something which is as narrow in a way as a data platform. I was also very delighted to have ES available to launch it. I think it's a very fitting our last gift to the ES that we managed to produce it today. When we started this work and we started looking at restoration information system, we did a global scan and we came to know that there are more than 40 databases already in place, 40. And we decided that we are not going to create a 41st database. That's why we are not producing any original data. We are using data which exists. We are sitting at the data which are multiple platforms in NASA, in University of Maryland, in UNEP, in WCMC. I understand 200 data layers. We are bringing them together. We are creating an interface which make it very easy for people to navigate. And now our job is twofold. One is to promote it with all the partners. In one of the other work which we do, we are working with universities, agricultural universities, urban planning universities, and soon mining institutes, business universities. And we already have more than 600 universities who are delivering our syllabus. I think we should push this into the university system. That way we already have few thousand students who would work it as part of their curriculum. So integrating this database into our university curriculum and creating probably a sub-module. We currently have 50 hours of teaching. Maybe we can add a few more into that so that it automatically plug into that. So that's one way of marketing, and there are many other ways of marketing. I think we should also create an AI which can stand there and support you real time so that people who are not IT savvy and who don't know how to draw a polygon can speak to it, and you can talk to it and say, I want a polygon of my village. Can you give this? And that can then translate into whatever an GIS expert would do for that. I think that's not possible with the latest technology. So let's try to work on it. One other thing which I always wanted to do was to develop a prospect map by which we bring the cost element to it. How expensive it is to restore land in a certain area. And then based upon that, government as well as private sector can make decision on where to invest the resources. So there are many, many ways in which we can build on it. And I look forward to working with all the partners. I want to thank the core team, Salam, Devasri, Ebi, and of course, Grid in the past, who put this together, and rest of the GLI team for making it happen. We will, as I said, will continue to promote it internally and market it extensively, and of course, continue to upgrade it. And I look forward to working with you all again. Thank you.
So,
Thank you very much.